Hello there, Commonwealth from here. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom as the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has a difficult task to stand out from the 2017 Game of the Year. Luckily, it has a few weapons up its tunic, namely horizontal alterations, vertical extensions, and most of all combinations to make existing things new. Well, that and making the transition between the layers as seamless as possible. So let's get inside Zelda Tears of the Kingdom's gameplay. Sky, the House of Dragons and Spirits. After seeing around 4 minutes of gameplay and the final box art provided by Nintendo, we can conclude that the Sky in Tears of the Kingdom is the main new focus of the game. Or more specifically, a realization of the interlayer gameplay that could not be done in Skyward Sword, and which also series producer Eiji Aonuma talked about in the making of Breath of the Wild official series. So much so that we have barely seen anything other than air-based gameplay in the last 2 teasers, being a clear indication that the sky is the focus of this game, along with the many patterns where we still need to see combat, suggesting a massive overhaul of Link's verticality. The reason for this is naturally that the Zelda team wants us to get higher and higher than ever before, reinventing the philosophy from the horizontal focus of Breath of the Wild. What do we mean by this? Instead of seeing something on the horizon and thinking about how to get there and what we'll do when we get there, we will look at for the moment unreachable sky level, where the actual tier will only bring you so far before you have to think, how do I get to the next level from here? One of them might be within the fallen fucking rocks! Say that we reach very early on the Skyloft level and then expand the layer by adding more and more rocks that have fallen down to the surface. You already know how they get back up there. And the reason for this is quite simple, as more and more hints point to it both in the second and third trailer, pretty early on in the game. And as you add new pieces of land that have fallen down, you can run around here and complete the first pagoda-inspired tower relatively easy. But getting to the next level above it might require a new tool or item, or more specifically, rocks. That is right, this is how the Zelda team restores some linearity to this level until later on in the game, or encourages you to once again explore the surface below. We will soon get back to it. As for now at least, we can easily skydive and paraglide downwards, but might have to unlock certain upward wind gusts to bring you up higher, or get to a sky island that is located right beneath the island you're on and reach up your hand of time to merge yourself through the rocks. Though there might be ways to get up higher faster if you go outside the designated path, just like what was the case in Breath of the Wild. Say by climbing as suggested in the title reveal trailer, or go out of your way on the surface to time reverse the fallen rocks on the existing surface as we have already mentioned to get to new locations in the sky. Speaking of, could the tiers actually be a very extensive metaphor based on what falls and go up from and to Zelda Kingdoms of Heaven, where each rock brings us back to the home of the dragons, spirits, and possibly the goddesses. The place where we'll have to take advantage or gain vials and get the most out of the sky tunic, while being chased by stone automatons and in general being surrounded by stone structures and divine golden trees and grass. A layer which might turn the damaged Master Sword mechanical and change its visual and gameplay nature forever. Not by making it gold as we have previously suggested, but infusing it with the power of the distant past. One that Ganondorf will not expect when the time arrives in his elevated Malice castle on the surface. Speaking of, let's cover the surface. The home of new effing fallen sky rocks, spiral rocks, and new roadblocks. Which is awesome, as it appears that there will be no loading screens as we fall down from the sky down to the surface. Let's face it, the box art of Tears of the Kingdom makes one thing clear. The surface is full of new obstacles and objects, some helping us up to the sky and others preventing us from applying the same Breath of the Wild tactics. Nope, because those locations are either A, filled with malice, B, blocked by a storm cloud barrier, or C, elevated with a malice barrier surrounding it. No doubt, the surface has become more restricted, probably for story reasons, as Ganondorf has made it clear that you're not facing me again until completing your quest, both in the sky but also on the surface. And the storm cloud barriers appear to be present in a number of locations of the surface, but when these are dispelled, they might serve to reach new locations up in the sky, making the surface and sky even more interconnected than what we have seen up to this point. Still, everything will be good as long as we can pet the doggers. You know what to do, Zelda team. Though your time on the surface will not exactly be pleasant, as your friends in the four corners of the land are most likely once again on the threat, and you don't have a Master Cycle 0 to get around its corners, as the Sheikah Slate appears to be gone, replaced by the Stone Sky tablet and the vials on it. In other words, we need to be prepared to see the game over screen a lot in the early hours of Tears of the Kingdom, just like in Breath of the Wild. Yes, most of, if not all of the gameplay focus thus far on the surface has been on what we can't do, how much more buff and combined Ganondorf's minions have become, and how time reversal can cause that confidence boost to literally backfire. Combat focus is heavy when we're on the more dangerous surface, no matter the province we explore. At the same time, who knows what the Yiga clan have been up to following Ganondorf's return. After all, as Zelda lore YouTube pointed out with his excellent analysis and render that you definitely need to go check out after this one, there appears to be now 3 factions of the Sheikah in Tears of the Kingdom, each representing a piece of the Triforce. The allies of Ganondorf and thus power, the Yiga clan Sheikah, the allies of the Princess and Wisdom, the Kakariko and what remains of the ancient Sheikah, and finally the allies of the hero and courage, the for now, I guess spiritual Zonai Sheikah? Though they're dead spirits, right? Well, on the surface at least for now, certainly, and most likely also in the sky, which for now at least looks completely deserted, but might hide a number of their spirits and possibly even divine goddesses. But that doesn't tell much about the role of this mysterious tribe in, say, Faerûn, a province which we thus far have only seen glimpses of when bringing this fallen rock back up to the sky. But what if Link didn't land on the rock and instead fell into the water beneath it? Would he be able to swim underneath its surface? That is the key question here. Well, that and new wildlife, since we have seen it on the ground, along with enemies as teased when taking the rock elevator up to the sky. Either way, let's finish our first of many Tears of the Kingdom gameplay journeys by heading down to the biggest mystery thus far, despite seeing direct gameplay in this final layer, the underground, alive Zonai, or simply malice and monster hell. Hyrule Steps took up nearly the entirety of the reveal trailer in 2019, but have since then become more and more limited in its appearance up to the point we are now, where it wasn't present at all in the title reveal trailer. That is unless the wall carvings and hieroglyphics seen for the first time in the September 2022 Nintendo Direct are not in the sky, but rather on the ground. After all, the trailer transitioned to Link opening the doors to heaven the same way the E3 2021 trailer also transitioned from Zelda's fall to the void on the ground to Link falling down in the heavens. In other words, all 3 layers might have been present in both the 2021 and 2022 trailers, or if you prefer, teasers. Which also means that the 3 layers have been shown equally as many times. The surface and underground at E3 2019 and 2021, and possibly the September 2022 Direct, while the sky has been seen in the E3 2021 Direct, the late 2022 announcement, and September 2022 Direct. Either way, the underground appears to be the darkest of the layers, with the exception of areas where it is lit up by luminous stones. But other than that, requires a torch, and is still humid and filled with rats which were not present in Breath of the Wild for some reason. Well, them and monsters fitting to such a hellish layer like this. Where Hyrule's doom was kept in prison for tens, if not even 100,000 years before at last breaking free when Link and Zelda turned up and brought light to his lair.
You dare bring light to my lair? You must die!
How dare they? A layer will play in, which we don't know how much yet. Since as we saw for a split second in the title reveal trailer, there are new cave entrances on the surface, and these might hint towards a more integrated underground system, just like we see in this animation. And it really shows the massive potential of the layer that might or might not play a significant role compared to the existing surface, well, which has been altered, and the new sky or heavens if you prefer. Still, there's something about having the 3 so iconic layers in religion, mythology, and biology in a Zelda game at the same time. Not so different from the ancient system in Skyward Sword, which also had 3 layers. Enter on surface level, go down to the hellish underground level filled with malice, before ascending up to the divine layer to fight a golden automaton. Sounds familiar? Since that is more or less what Link does in Tears of the Kingdom, leaving the surface with Princess Zelda, losing her on the ground, then fighting devilish creatures there, regular though altered enemies on the surface, and also mechanical automatons and other type of enemies in the sky. But back to the rocky depths, as Princess Zelda fell down here, while Link might have to either fight his way out or return at a certain point on the ground. Perhaps to break out or to return for Princess Zelda if she is still alive. The reason for bringing this up is that Tears of the Kingdom short-haired Zelda fell in the exact same manner, but underground compared to the first Zelda who fell from the sky to the surface in Skyward Sword, and then had a path of her own seen in the credits of said game. So who knows what Zelda will be up to. Anyway, that is all, so be sure to share your Tears of the Kingdom gameplay thoughts in the comment section down below, and most of all share your ideas on the sky, surface and underground for future episodes. Yes, we'll be shouting them out. If you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, plus press that notification bell to not miss any of our upcoming episodes of Inside Tears of the Kingdom gameplay. A big thanks as always goes to all patreon.com/Comerolm patrons, and in particular to role producer Charles Shush. You rock, and please enjoy one or both of these two awesome videos.